Hello, Leo, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We're looking at all three sides of it. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. So looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle. These energies can absolutely be swapped, so if you end up resonating more with the energy to my right than to my left, please know that is totally fine and totally normal. The point of these readings is for you to take what resonates and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. And if you're a cross-watcher, then that could be vice versa. Remember, these are general readings and they will not resonate fully for everyone. As always, we're going to have three different tarot decks that I'll be diving into for each side of the connection, but I've already gone ahead and clarified the overall energy with an oracle deck, and then I clarified that with the tarot deck. So we will be using 6 different decks in this reading, because then I have the advice deck I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. All right, Leo, on your side of this connection, you have veiled with the 5 of Cups. So there is definitely some disappointment coming from your side of this connection here, but at the same time, I feel like you are not showing that. Like there's this level of holding back maybe how you feel, or like maybe there's no use in, talking about how disappointed you are for whatever reason. I don't know. I just feel like with this veiled card, it doesn't feel like this person has any idea that you're going through this 5 of Cups right now, this disappointment. But I do feel like you are dealing with quite a bit of emotion surrounding this. And I feel like there could even be this level of like, man, I'm upset about this, and then I'm mad that I'm upset about this. Kind of energy going on. This person, they have good fortune with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. So this person is, this is an energy of being like kind of materialistic. Like this person is very focused on their worldly material endeavors. And I feel like that left very little room, or leaves very little room for the connection. Now, I feel like in another way, it almost feels like they're prioritizing and have prioritized this over you. And I feel like that's what leaves you kind of in this disappointment. Now, this can look like anything. Like the material endeavors can be, yes, of course, like career goals and things of that nature, but also like what fits somebody's, ego. So looking for someone who, like if it's a romantic relationship, they might be looking for someone who fits like the check boxes that they have on paper, but not really actually someone they're looking for an emotional connection with, or looking for, prioritizing like having all of the nice things, instead of prioritizing actually building like a solid foundation for their, emotional life. Like I just feel like this person is very focused on their outer world, outer environment, and not so much on their inner environment. And between this connection, there is death with the 5 of Wands in reverse. So this is interesting because there is definitely a cycle that is existing between these two people. And this cycle has to do with resistance to love. So both people in this connection, and whether or not you realize it, Leo, you're also involved in this, but are resisting their own, both people are resisting love. Now, in different ways, I feel like that resistance is manifesting in different ways. But let's see. Let's start, Leo, by looking at your side of this connection, clarifying veiled with the 5 of Cups. This is Leo's side of this connection, please. This is Leo's side of this connection. One more. This is Leo's side of this connection, please. This is Leo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. There's the cycle. Stuck in a cycle, and it's a cycle of limiting beliefs, and these limiting beliefs are the resistance. I can almost guarantee it. I can almost guarantee that like this 5 of Wands would come out if we clarified it. I don't know. We'll see. Okay, let's clarify this 8 of Swords really quick. I want to know if we can get a little bit more on this message before I start talking about it. Clarifying this 8 of Swords. The Justice in reverse with the Devil in reverse. Ooh, there's the Chariot in reverse, the Fool in reverse. All right. Leo, there is a pretty big, pretty major imbalance in this connection. An imbalance of justice. I feel like you're like, yeah, I know. Like, duh. Um, but there's more to the lesson behind what has happened in this connection than you fully realize. Because this connection brought your Eight of Swords, your limiting beliefs around love to the surface. Because this Justice in reverse and this Devil in reverse are two energies of like these two energies together is like there's an imbalance of justice, but there's something within you that has brought this. I don't want to say you brought this upon yourself, because our trauma, like, okay, let me take a step back first before you guys get mad at me. 95% of our movement, choices, and decisions come from our subconscious, right? I talk about this all the time on my channel, how only 5% of the way that we interact with our reality is conscious, meaning that our subconscious is a product of what we've experienced in this world. If you've experienced abandonment or neglect or um, betrayal or anything, right, of that note around love, in your parent, relationships with your parents or your caretakers or with friends or whatever the case is, you have internalized those experiences and turned them into beliefs, right? And those beliefs can be, I'm not deserving, I'm unlovable, the love that I'm looking for isn't possible for me. It can be a whole bunch of things. And so what I'm talking about is those 95% of those beliefs. It is not your fault that you believe the way that you do about your reality, because your experiences and what you have experienced since you were a kid is not your fault. However, those experiences were placed into your life for a reason, for you to learn a certain lesson, right? And that lesson is your responsibility. And so what it comes down to is those limiting beliefs that you have that live in that 95% have had to be brought to the surface through this connection in particular, so that you can reach your son. This has happened for a reason. This connection has gone down the way that it has so that you can ultimately get what you want. Now, I feel like it's really hard to see that with the energy that you're in right now, but I feel like we'll get more on this Eight of Swords, which will help kind of explain more things. But man, we are 7 minutes in and I've only pulled one card. All right, Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is for Leo's side of the connection. This is for Leo's side of the connection. Queen of Cups in reverse. Ooh, yeah, see, this connection has completely thrown your emotions for a loop. And then you have the Seven of Wands. But what is the Seven of Wands saying? I want more on the Seven of Wands energy, because it feels like you're very, I was going to say stubborn. And then you have the Emperor in reverse, which is like this energy of being controlling. So there's a stubbornness to your energy, but I don't know in what sense. Like, I don't know if you're like set on getting your revenge or getting your justice. That could be something like you're really set on wanting to get your justice in this connection, which makes sense, right? You feel like you've been, something has happened that is very unjust, and you feel like you deserve to have that balance out. Of course you do. It is natural for you to feel that way. However, you can't make that happen, right? It's not usually justice and karma. It doesn't ever happen the way that we think it will. Happens the way it needs to. But let's get more for Leo's side of this connection. This is Leo's side of the connection to the person they are dealing with. This is Leo's side of this connection. Leo's side of the connection. That is entirely too many, but we're going to talk through them anyway. Okay. Two of Wands in reverse with the Six of Cups, and then the High Priestess in reverse with the Four of Swords in reverse. Your soul is tired, Leo. You're tired of dealing with this, the emotion around this. Like, even if this connection is like over and done, which I'm not saying it is, but even if it is, it feels like I feel like you can't get away from this energy, and you just feel stuck in this. but there's something that's needing, a lesson that's needing to be learned through this that hasn't yet been learned, which is why you haven't been able to release it, because this death card is here, right? There's still a cycle that needs to end. You are super in your head about this. I feel like this connection, like, is maybe you're like replaying like how things went down, or you're replaying the way that you were hurt, or you're replaying like the way that you'd get your revenge, or I don't know. Revenge is a pretty strong word, but it feels like you're really stuck in the past. I mean, overthinking the past. That's what this is really kind of saying right here. It's like maybe like, man, if I could do things over, or I never, like, maybe there's regret involved or something in that way. And if there's anything that I've learned, it's that regret is never a helpful energy, because if we regret what has happened, we're missing the point, because we're saying, I wish that hadn't happened, instead of saying, I see why that had to happen to get me to where I need to go. Which again, was not an easy place to be. And so I feel like if you're overthinking a lot right now, there's kind of this need to step outside of what has happened a little bit, as much as you can, to step outside all of this emotion that you're going through, and this possibly anger, or just overall like anger. And I feel like there's this need to kind of try your hardest to step outside of that trigger and look at the bigger picture, because I do really feel like, in a really backwards way, this connection was a blessing in disguise for you. Yeah, there's that anger. Queen of Wands in reverse. I knew it. I do feel like, I mean, I am a firm believer and have experienced in my own life that everything happens for a reason. And that reason, isn't always clear right away. And sometimes it takes, years and almost being in a completely different life to be able to look back and say, okay, I see why that had to happen. But the more that you realize that this really did happen for a reason, and I feel like it's going to come with time, as long as you let it, right? Your perception is everything. The universe isn't here to your universe isn't here to serve injustice for no reason. All right, Leo's side of this connection. The Death in reverse. So you're resisting some sort of change, but I don't know what that is yet. There's a lot of resistance in this reading. What is this resistance? Let me clarify this Death in reverse. Or hesitating to make a change. What is this Death in reverse for Leo? Start freaking seeing what you deserve. That's what you're resisting. You have the Lovers in reverse here. I feel like what you're not realizing is that this Lovers in reverse, because I feel like this Lovers in reverse is that Eight of Swords. And that Eight of Swords is the resistance. You don't realize what you're deserving of. And so in a backwards way, the universe is trying to teach you what you are deserving of by showing you what you're not deserving of. Which, here's the thing. If you didn't know what you weren't deserving of, you would never know what you are deserving of. You can't have the good without the bad. You can't have the light without the dark. You would never know that good exists if there, that good exists for you if you hadn't gone through the bad. Now, the extent of that, I'm not really sure what it is that you've been through, and I'm not sitting here saying that this reading is for everyone, right? But I do feel like it's interesting, because it's almost like you're resisting seeing your own worth. It almost feels like you're so used to being undervalued and feeling undeserving, that looking at things through a different lens of like, man, I'm deserving of more, is so uncomfortable to you. Because I feel like because you're resisting this cycle closing, even though this cycle closing will be like the best thing for you. And maybe you don't know how to close this cycle yet. That could be something too. Leo side of this connection, please. One more. This is for Leo side of this connection. There it is. You saw the long term of this. I feel like you thought this person was going to be in your life forever. It's Ten of Cups. And then this Tower hit. I feel like this Tower wiped away all of what you were expecting. What was this Tower, though? That's what I want to know. What was this Tower? I feel like we've gotten a lot of knowing, like, why this Tower had to happen. Help you work through your resistance, or help you work, like really discover your worth here. But I don't feel like you know what happened. Clarifying this Tower for Leo's side of this connection, please. Clarifying this Tower for Leo's side of the connection. What happened here? Well, whatever happened, there it is. You knew this. Star at the Five of Wands happened to help you heal your resistance. Your resistance to your abundance, because that's the same Five of Wands is right there. Star being a card of healing. But here's the thing. You do not see the plus side of this at all right now. And I get that. I get why. Because the Seven of Cups is like emotionally overwhelmed. And I feel like I said in the beginning, like this emotionally threw you for a loop. Like I just feel like you went from being like, wow, yeah, this person's like involved in my Ten of Cups, to being like, man, they're not, you know? And I feel like it could have been like a quick change or something. Like it just feels like it was like all out of nowhere. Not even necessarily out of nowhere. It could have been a long time coming, but like it happened out of nowhere. But I also feel like this Tower, the only reason a Tower happens is when there's not a strong foundation. I want more. I want more. I want to know all of the details of this because I am curious. All right, Leo's side of this connection. This is for Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. One more. This is for Leo's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Leo's side of this connection, please. See, there it is. Lack of boundaries. It's like, in a way, Leo, I feel like, I don't want to say you let this person walk all over you, because sometimes we don't really know what's happening until we do. But it also feels like you lowered your boundaries for them. Maybe you let them, like if they said something that you didn't like, or if they did something you didn't like you'd kind of just brush it off, but then over time it started really getting to you. And I feel like that created it, like it all led to this Tower moment where it was like from the beginning you weren't saying, nope, that's not cool, I'm not cool with that, because I feel like there was this level of like, well, maybe it was just a one-time thing, or I don't know, something like that. It's interesting. But I want to get more on that. I'm excited for looking at the rest of this reading because I feel like this is a pretty intense message that's coming through for you, Leo. All right, let's get this person's energy toward Leo, please. This person's energy toward Leo, please, with good fortune and the Nine of Pentacles in reverse. One more. This person's energy toward Leo. I don't feel like this person has good fortune on the way. I just feel like they're like super focused on their like material world or something. This person's energy toward Leo, the Death. There it is. Ooh. I feel like they were the reason this ended. Like they ended it, or something they did ended it. And that's where this anger comes from. Because there you are as the Queen of Wands in reverse. But yet, I feel like this happened and it just feels, I don't know if you just feel stuck or if you just like can't let go of this anger or what the case is. This person's energy toward Leo. Oof. This person's energy toward Leo, please. I feel like I know where this is going. Interesting. A part of them actually wants like reconciliation here. But I feel like they're too, maybe they are too prideful or not. I don't know. Like, ooh, this is confusing me. I didn't expect this. Part of them does want reconciliation. But there's something else. It's like there's something else to it. It's like they want reconciliation, but they want it on their terms. Like they're not willing to maybe admit their fault or to drop their pride. They just kind of want to move past everything. And I feel like you're like, hell no, at least you should be. Because anyone who puts you through this isn't deserving of, not that they're not deserving of your forgiveness, but forgiving someone and allowing them to repeat their behavior, two different things, right? This person's energy toward Leo. What is this good fortune, the Nine of Pentacles in reverse? Oh, I don't like the way this came out. Interesting. This person's energy toward Leo, because honestly, I'm a little bit confused here. This person's energy toward Leo, because remember, you're in a cycle with this person. See, so interesting. They're in this Three of Swords about this connection. But okay, hang on. Let me get more of this Three of Swords. Clarifying this Three of Swords for this person's energy toward Leo. Clarifying. There's the Nine of Cups. See, here's the thing. They're very stuck in a victim mentality about this. Meaning, I feel like if they kept like treating you poorly over and over, like I'm gonna give a couple of situations. If they kept treating you poorly over and over and you finally were like I've had enough of this, and you walked away or you left their life or whatever the case is, they're like, man, like people always leave. And it's like, well, no, you actually pushed me away. But then on the flip side, like it could be like if they walked away from you and then are coming back like, well, I want this back. And you're like, no, I've healed and I'm not going to put myself through that again. And they're like, why not? Like it feels like they're very much not taking accountability. And that I feel like is the difference. It's like they can want reconciliation all day long, but if they're not willing to take accountability for their actions, that is a repeated cycle waiting to happen. This person's energy for Leo. I don't know, Leo. I mean, are you going to let them? I don't know. I don't know if they're speaking to you about this. This person's energy toward Leo. I feel like you know this, though. See, they want a new beginning. But here's where I'm confused. Clarifying good fortune with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Clarifying good fortune with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. Clarifying good fortune with the 9 of Pentacles in reverse. What is this saying? Yeah, so here's the thing. They're so worried and focused on building this that it's like their heart is closed off to love anyway. But I don't see how this connects to the messages that are coming through. So maybe that's the thing. Like, if they like moved on, or if you're like, well, they're, I don't know, like moved on getting married to someone else, or not that that's happening. That's not, don't want you to freak out. That's not what's happening. But like, even if they're like moving forward with their life, they're moving forward with their life in a material way. But not, it's like they're stuck emotionally on this. But here's the thing. My readings will never be those readings where I'm sitting here trying to get hopes up, right? Because the messages that are coming through is short. They might feel this way, but that should not affect your decision to heal and move on from this, because the way that they have made you feel here is so unfair. It's so unfair to you. And they might be really good at, like, I don't know, saying what you want to hear or keeping you hanging on, but if they're not willing to like show up and be who you need them to be for you, then, which they're not there yet. They haven't taken any accountability. They messed up, I feel like, and then are now in a victim mentality of like, well, I should still get what I want. It's like, well, that's not really how it works, right? This person's energy toward Leo. But I will be very honest with you, Leos, I've been this person. So I have empathy for them. I understand what it's like to realize that you hurt someone and then want to like make it right without having to like take accountability for the way that you've hurt someone. And I feel like that's how you should know that they're not ready for you. That's what it feels like. They're not ready for you. They're not at your caliber of, you need someone who can match your ability to love. Not someone you have to fight to love you the way you deserve. I feel like that's the difference here. Now you have this Ace of Cups. I feel like they're like, because you've stopped letting them, like giving in to them. I think that's a good way of saying that. They're having to deal with a lot around this right now. And I think it's good for them. I do. I think it's good for them. I think that the fact that they're having to face some, truths about the role they played and things like that is good for them. Now I just feel like you have so much better in store for you if you can truly let this go. This person's energy toward Leo. This person's energy toward Leo, please. There's a lot of love here. There's a lot of love here from their side, but like, I can't stress it enough, Leo. I don't think you want to get involved in this again. We'll see when we look at the truth of this connection, because you have the Death with the Five of Wands in reverse. This is all about the resistance. Love. There's so much more going on here than just the surface. I don't think that, I don't know. I just feel like, I guess at the very least, I should say proceed with caution. All right, Leo, thank you so much as always for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, Leo. I don't even think I talked about how we're going over the extended. I'm pulling 9 different messages. Did I say this already? Oh my gosh, I'm so tired. To clarify the death and the 5 of Wands in reverse, and then we'll jump into the advice card. But, all right, Leo, thank you, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye-bye.